Hi, welcome back to our channel. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Hugo.
And we are Sell Quick Ship Quick across all social media.
Everything.
So it's been a while since we filmed a YouTube video, and our last one said we were back.
Yeah, and we were back for that video, but life changed, and like we've mentioned before, if you follow us, and if you don't, give us a little follow so you'll learn more about us. We are part-time resellers, so our other businesses picked up.
Yeah, so personal training picked up, and we train from home, so we're seeing more clients and our other jobs, so this kind of took a back seat. But it is December 23rd, and every year we do our end of year inventory check, and we wanted to share how we do it so that you could follow along. And we will try to film our entire process so you can see how long it takes us to do it and how we do it.
Yeah, it's gonna take a moment because we have roughly
1,400 items listed across different platforms.
Yeah, if you don't already know, we actually use Vendoo to help cross list, and we list on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari,
TradeZ, Depop, Etsy.
Yeah, and even Facebook Marketplace
as
well. So with that in mind, we have to make sure all those platforms line up with what we have here.
And then if you don't know or have not used Vendoo before, when you initially start it, you have to transfer over your data from your selling platforms. And with that in mind, there were some listings that on Poshmark did not get transferred over, and this week they happened to sell, but we no longer had those items. So our inventory check is even more important right now.
Yeah, inventory check is important, and we do ours biannually. We try to get at least twice. Sometimes if we start seeing random mistakes, we'll just say, you know what, it's time for another one. But in this case, it's just falls in line, end of year review. And it's important to do an inventory check.
Yeah, and so we'll do this together. He will help me take down the bins, and then we will cross-check those onto Vendoo, and then just make sure that anything that we have is listed, and to make sure nothing has fallen off.
Yeah, and as we said, this is going to take a while, so it's going to take a few days, and we're going to do our best to vlog each day, maybe separate. So make sure you hit that bell notification so that you can see the upcoming videos, because we'll let you know when we find mistakes and what happened, user error possibly, most likely. So here is what our inventory looks like. We have a garage tour that shows a little bit more in detail how it's set up and why. But as you can see, we use the bin system, meaning we use bins with numbers or letters, in our case both, to organize our inventory so we can set up some SKU numbers that makes everything a little easier.
So as we do our inventory check, we will be pulling from A1, which is already on the floor, but we'll pull A1 and go in order and do that check before moving on to the next rack.
Yeah, and within each bin, let me pull one out just so you can see. Thankfully, again, because she's organized, Tiffany has them put in order, so it makes life a little easier when we're checking things, because you can see if the, A2914 exists or doesn't exist. So why is inventory check important?
Why is inventory check important?
That's important because mistakes happen. In our case, we use technology to help cross list. So sometimes it is a technology glitch. And whether it was with Vendoo or the platform, we're not sure what happens, but sometimes listings double up.
Also on Vendoo, if we have a multi-quantity item, we just put in the note box on Vendoo that we have multiple quantities. And usually if that item sells, we adjust the quantity in that note box, and then we have to relist it. In some cases, we forget to relist the item, or we don't change the quantity, and then we have 2 items that are unlisted and sitting in a bin.
Yeah, and oftentimes, guilty. I've forgotten. I tell myself I'm going to do it. Then we get caught up in all the other stuff, and I never get back to it. So there are items that are just sitting here. 1, taking up space. 2, if they've sold, that means they can sell again, and we're not making that profit.
And another thing about inventory check that we do when we double check these items, oftentimes we will also check to see their current selling price. If an item has been sitting here for a few months, the price could have either gone up or gone down, but we have it listed at a price that we put up months ago.
Yeah, we do our best to, when we relist, because we do relist our items throughout the year, every day we do relistings, and we do our best to check prices then, but even then, prices change, and like you said, things might have fallen off. We do have some relisting videos if you're interested on how we do it without using a cross-listing device, so I'll make sure to link those to help you out.
Item is, as you can see, listed on eBay, listed on Poshmark, listed on Mercari, but we couldn't find it in our bin, so we checked the listings, and on eBay it clearly shows your item is for sale, and on Poshmark this item is sold.
Yeah, so this happens again, user error. I mean, we need to check and make sure we definitely take things down to sell. It does happen when we get a lot of sales, something falls through the crack, but we got it done. All right, so that's a wrap for our first day.
And I did set a timer on my phone, so
Accuracy is key.
it took a little over 3 hours to do 36 bins.
Yeah, and that was a mix of clothing, shoes, and hard goods.
And we did find a few items that were double listed on Poshmark, some that were sold but showed up as listed on Vendoo.
Yeah.
That we had to adjust.
And also another thing to keep an eye out for is if you're just writing in your brand on Poshmark, it might not actually always pick it up as their category brand.
So a few of the items that we found some problems with was J. Crew, and when you list it on Vendoo, you can type in J. Crew, but on Poshmark, when you start typing it in, it'll auto-generate the brand that you
according
can
to
click
their
on.
categorizing.
So we've had a few items that when we copied and pasted our title from Vendoo into Poshmark search, it didn't come up at all. But I went in to edit the item and chose the J. Crew listing that Poshmark had, and then our item populated.
Yeah, and along, I think she mentioned there was a couple items that, as you saw, sold but weren't taken down.
Yeah.
Again, user error on both occasions, but it's again why we do this. We make sure, and then we later on find out mistakes still happen, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Especially on eBay.
Yes.
Yeah. Poshmark, Mercari, you shouldn't, but you can cancel orders, and it's a lot more lenient. eBay, you don't want to be canceling orders because of your mistakes.
So, end of day 1, 36 bins, found, I think, I don't know, maybe like 10 mistakes.
Yeah.
10 to 15, and that includes the items that were listed that were fine but weren't coming up in the search on Poshmark, which is an issue. If we can't find it in search, that means that our buyers can't either.
Yeah.
So
I made my mistake when I relisted something, but I didn't relist it. And on top of that, I put the wrong SKU number, so it was all kinds of mess. User error.
So tomorrow is Christmas Eve, but we will probably do some work in the morning before hanging out with family at night. So we will film tomorrow and see where we get. And if you want to keep watching this stuff, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for our future videos.
Yeah. And remember, comment below. Have you done this before? Do you do inventory check? Is it helpful? Is it not? Or, does it just take up time? But you got to do it.